Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sudsy and this is Sudsy Talks Rugby. Today I'm joined again by Richard
Hi everyone.
and we are going to be discussing possible records that'll be broken the Six Nations. So had a look through the history books and gonna see if maybe this year is the year that some of these get broken. So first one up is going to be let me find it. Grant, do you think Dupont will get player of the tournament, meaning that he will then have the most players of the tournaments out of anyone? It's currently held by himself and Brian O'Driscoll on three.
Yeah, look, I think the hype behind Dupont is still there. I think he got seventh player of the year for playing what, three tournaments. I know he won Olympic medal at it, but and he was great. But there's people playing that their entire lives to that, and he comes in for the guts of half a season, over half a season, and then gets seventh player of the year. So I think the ball's in his court to lose. I don't necessarily see who could take it off him.
Fair,
Um,
yeah. I don't know. I think it really does depend on if France can go and win this. Because if France go and win this, I do see Dupont having a very big influence in deciding that they if they win or lose the championship. And if France are going to get a Grand Slam, I think it'll be Dupont that really helps lead them in that direction. So yeah, if France win it, I think Dupont will be very much a main character of that French team winning the whole thing, and I think if that's the case, he will get it, and he'll break the record with four player of the tournaments.
I, like I think if France comes second, he's still nearly in the
Yeah,
driving seat
no,
to win it.
he could
The
be.
only
He
one,
very much could be.
the only person that I could see potentially, because he's been had a bit of an off year and he's come back solid as a block this year, and that's Van der Fleer. You know, if Ireland win
True.
the Six Nations, and he's in there with the tackles, he's in there with the because he gets over the line a good bit
Yeah,
for Leinster. Like you don't realise, but then all of a sudden he's over. And same with Caelan Darris. Now I don't think Caelan Darris really has that same. I don't know. Just I feel Van der Fleer got that World Player of the Year. People recognise him in that breath. He could win the award, and that is Ireland need to win, and he needs to have a couple of tries, a shit ton of tackles, and maybe one or two man of the matches. Whereas
yeah,
Dupont, I think if he plays every game, he nearly he's nearly already got it. That
yeah.
that
Well, it could be just
I
one of
think
those
that's
things. There could be nearly even too much, like expected of him. So if
true.
someone, from like he just has a great thing, like I can see Sheehan, Van der Fleer, Peno, Louis Birbire, any of them, because I feel like the expectations are a bit lower on them, that it could work out in their favor. I don't know. Do you
Yeah,
see anyone else getting it that's not from kind of Ireland, England, or sorry, Ireland, France, who we've pipped to be the winners of the tournament? Anyone from like maybe England or Scotland?
look, if we take Scotland, if Scotland come top two, uh, Finn Russell, I think automatically would have to be. I know. In the last video, I said that I don't rate him. If you can prove me wrong, and if you can bring that Scottish side into the top two of the Six Nations, he's in the conversation. Like he's like the point in that level. They're the same actually. I know it doesn't really mean for much, but they're the same on fantasy points. They're about 20 stars each or whatever it is. So I know it's a bit gimmickal, but it's still obviously the way.
He's obviously rated very highly then by the the media, which is I mean I agree with the hype. I think he's very good. So it'd be interesting to see. But like, think you've got the likes of if Russell's leading the ship, maybe it's like a Duhan or someone that scores enough tries possibly to put their hat in the ring. Now I don't know how often it is that wingers tend to win it, but yeah, very much could be Russell maybe. And if England have a stormer of championship, I can see Itoje maybe getting it. Captaining England, if he captains England to a win, especially if
Or
they,
Marcus Smith.
yeah, yeah, with a bit of flashy brilliance. But then again, like that's only if he's picked at 10, which I think he will be.
Yeah,
But there's a few rumblings about Finn Smith. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that one. I think because Itoje is guaranteed to start and play 80 minutes every game. I think he might
that's
just
true.
be in
Yeah,
with a shout. Although second rows again tend not to be very well recognised, I wouldn't say. I think you're going to want to be a back rower a 9 or a 10, maybe a centre to be in with your best shot at winning this. So, like as you said, Van der Fleer, Doris, Dupont, Aldrit, maybe Greg Aldrit. He's been in good form.
I feel like there's only one French man that would win it,
Fair enough.
and
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I think Ramos could break the points record for a tournament. Pinot could break the tries record for a tournament,
yeah.
and Dupont would still end up getting it because he'd probably assist most of those points and tries.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
Yeah, or at least be
it
running the support lines.
I feel like it's a short straw for France, whereas like Gary Ringrose for Ireland has a chance if he has a
Yeah,
stormer,
yeah,
gets a
yeah.
couple of tries. Like he's a big leader
Defends
on that
very
team.
well. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Could be a ring
Probably
rose.
he's more of an outside horse.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. He
I
wouldn't be in
think
my top kind of five. Well,
if I was going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, DuPont number one, Finn Russell number two, maybe Van der Fleer number three.
fair enough. I don't think I'd have Finn Russell up that high because I just don't think he's got.
No,
I just don't think Scotland will win it, and I think they're going to pick someone from the winning
okay, yeah,
team. So I would say it'd be Dupont, Entomac, and Van der Fleer would be my
okay,
top
yeah,
choices. Doris as well, maybe a bit of an outside shout again, but
yeah.
yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that one.
I do agree with your point. It's top two teams, and like Finn Russell is purely circumstantial that Scotland end up in the top two.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, which then kind of guarantees
otherwise,
Russell getting it if Scotland go off and have a stormer of a competition.
yeah,
Right, okay, moving on to one that I think definitely could happen is Cian Healy to tie for appearances in the Six Nations. So at the moment it's Parise with 69 and Healy is on 64 caps. So if he plays in each of the 5 games, he'll then be tied top appear for the Six Nations, and he'll also be. He needs how many? He needs to play in 2 games to take it for Ireland. So if he plays in 2 of the games, he'll be the most capped Six Nations Irish player because he'll take over O'Driscoll and Rory Best. They're both. Oh no, sorry, he's already tied with Rory Best, to be fair, on 64. So do
yeah.
you reckon they'll be playing him 5 times, or do you reckon they'll play him twice to maybe get him over Brian O'Driscoll's record?
I think it's in a position where like Andrew Porter is our starting loose head. Who is our second loose head? It's nearly by default Healy because that we are in a bit of a vacancy for that.
Yeah, well, they
Um,
could also do the thing that Leinster are doing. They could start Healy for the first 20 minutes, then bring Porter on for the last 60.
yeah, and there's also Thomas Clarkson got brought up now. Like that's a big call. So maybe in a game like against Wales, they might look. I don't know. I think I don't know if you heard since our last video, Tyke Furlong. There's an injury report come out of the Portugal camp, and Tyke Furlong is now ruled out for the first match with injury.
Ooh, I did not see that. That's very
Yeah,
unfortunate for him.
just came out this evening. So that could take a hit on the other side of the scrum, which I think probably boosts Cian Healy's chances of being within the 23 to making sure that we have that experience
Yeah, well,
within
he plays
the pitch.
left. He plays loose and tight head. He can also play hooker as well. So it's kind of one of
Yeah.
those things that you'd want him on the bench anyway for coverage.
Like I think England, France, he plays. We need the scrummaging power for England and France. So I think he's on the bench for that. I don't think they'll take risks in those games. Scotland with Schumann and uh, was it Ferguson?
Yeah,
Um,
probably. That's their most likely starting.
like they're good scrummagers as well. So that's 3 caps. I like there's a very high chance he levels Priestley. I
Yeah,
think it's nearly in
I
the
think he
bag.
plays in the 5 of them. Yeah, because
I think it's in the bag that he gets the most Irish caps.
oh
I
yeah,
think even they'll select him for it to get him that anyway because he's not playing next year.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
can't see that
Well, it's
happening.
quite cool anyway. So we're saying definitely going to be the most Irish cap person. I think there's a very good chance he'll be tied with Parise at the end of this. I reckon he'll be on the bench 5 times.
I agree. I
Unless they
agree. Yeah.
maybe want to rest him for the Welsh game, maybe if they're feeling confident. But I think the Welsh scrum is okay. It's a few other areas that they're struggling in, so they probably
Yeah.
can't even do that. The Italian scrum's pretty good as well.
Yeah, no,
So
it's
yeah, I think there's a pretty good chance he'll go 5 from 5. That's as long as he doesn't get injured or anything like that,
but
and
looking
he'll
at that,
tie
like
Parise. That'd be
that's
really cool.
60 divided by 12 is 5. So that means 12 seasons is what you need to get 60, and he's already on 64. Like that's 12 seasons playing every single Six Nations game gets you to
I think
60.
he's probably
That's
done that,
unbelievable.
but I'd say he's done more than that. I'd say he's done about 15 seasons
Oh no, but that's what I mean. The fact that like you need to play 12 seasons
just to get to
straight
60. Yeah,
just
yeah,
to
yeah,
get to
yeah, yeah.
60.
Like it
And like
is
that's
a lot.
Parise was just a different animal. Like I think we're talking about Keane Healy. So Keane Healy's 64 caps, 44 starts. So there's 20 where he came off the bench.
Yeah,
Sergio Parise is 69
69
for
from
69.
69. Yeah,
Like
I wonder
even if
what.
even if Keane Healy gets there, it's still phenomenal from Parise,
Yeah,
and I don't think that should be
yeah,
taken
yeah,
away that he holds that record.
yeah. I wonder what game it was Parise missed, because if it's only 69, let's assume that's 14 seasons of
Yeah,
Six Nations rugby. He's obviously missed a game, so I do wonder what it is. If you guys know, let us know in the comments below. But yeah,
yeah.
he obviously missed a game. Maybe he was injured or something, or maybe it was the last one he played, and maybe he didn't play all the games. But yeah, let us know down in the comments if you know what game he missed. Right. Okay. Moving on to kind of more or less likely predictions. Do you think the record set in 1887 by George Lindsay of 5 tries in a game will be broken?
It depends what happens against Wales next Friday. I think the only match that it could happen is uh, France versus Wales, first game, 8 o'clock under the lights. Dupont, Entamac, Ramos, just feeding it to Pano. But I don't think Louis has. He could get a hat trick. I don't know if he could get 5. Peno, I feel, is greedy enough to get 5, and he could. So if it was going to happen, it would be him. Anyone else, I think it would be Harry Arundel. But obviously, he's playing over in France, so he can't play for England. He did it in the World Cup. I know it was against Chile, but like that just shows like there are players that can do it.
Yeah, I'd be in very much agreement with you. If it's gonna happen, it'll be against it'll be the France Wales game, and it'll be Pinot to score 5 tries. That's a big ask. I don't think it'll happen, but if it is gonna happen, that's when and where it'll happen. In my opinion, just with the kind of like the difference between France and Wales is something else. Like the French team is just considerably up there. At the moment, the Welsh team were struggling. They weren't having a great autumn series, but they could come back strong. This could be a whole lot of rhetoric, but yeah, I don't see any other team getting or any player on any other team getting 5 tries in any other game. So I'm
Ireland
going to
Ireland
Ireland.
distribute the ball too much.
Yeah, too many people score
Um,
on the Irish team.
the only way an Irish player is taking over 5 is some team just has an absolute nightmare on their line out and keep on giving us penalties, and Dan Sheehan just keeps on going over on the wall and gets 1 or 2 on the wing, and maybe he gets 3 tries and then runs in on the wing on 2, but
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. I
that's
mean, like wishful thinking, but honestly, it's the biggest shot for Ireland, I'd say.
that's also within, you got to do that within 55, 60 minutes, like
Yeah,
that
because he'll get taken off for
it
the last 20. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's it isn't happening, or unless he's on the bench because he's only back match fit. If there was, like, would never want it, but if Kelleher's went off with a HIA or an injury or something within the first 20 minutes and he got the 60 minutes at the end of the match, maybe, I don't know. But look, Pinot is the selfish one, and I think that's what makes him a great winger. Like sometimes you just ha- having that white line fever, you don't want it in your player, but he has it. Just like he's just excellent at getting over the line. Whether that's white line fever or not, he's just,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, fair enough, fair enough. All right, moving on to tries by a player in the tournament as a whole, and again set by a Scots person, Ian Smith in 1925. Oh, and Cyril Lowe, 1914, England. 8 tries in the tournament. I think there's a chance this one could be broken.
I I I I do too.
Yeah, like there's a good chance. Like 8 tries, it's a lot to ask, but
Look, last season it was, I think, 5 was the record. It was Van der Merwe and Dan Sheehan were both on 5. Dan Sheehan, like coming back, he's going to want to hit hard. He's going to want to get in. Like if you get in once in every game, that's 5. You need to figure out then how to get 3 more on top of that.
few
I feel like that's
mauls, few little runs off the wing, maybe.
there's a chance from him, but I think it's a bit hard for I think Dan will finish at about between 5 or 6. And if we're going back to who could break that, it's going back to Pinot. You know, like 10 tries in 4 games in the Investic Champions Cup.
Yeah. Okay, so the only way I see this maybe not happening for Pano or Louis Bure is through the fact that they're both on really, really good form at the moment. And because of that fact, there's a chance like they just won't be favouring a side, essentially. Like it'll be either going to Pano or Bure. And through that fact, maybe they might take tries off each other nearly. And then yeah, essentially, because they'll be taking tries off each other, they might not get to 8 in the season. So yeah, that would be my kind of thoughts on that. I think Sheehan is a good shout. If Ireland's well, first of all, if Ireland's line out gets working well, then we might have a decent opportunity of maul tries because I reckon if Prendergast is starting, we'll definitely be in with a shout of getting kicks on the 5 meter line. Nice little throw into the line out, a good maul could get over for a few against Wales, maybe a few against Italy, Scotland. England would be a bit tougher. I think they have a bigger pack, and France would be very difficult. It's the size of their pack. But yeah, Sheehan's a decent shout. Other than that, Duhan, wouldn't surprise me if he scored about 5 tries against England alone. It seems to be the game where he scores the most amount of points. What about you? What do you
Yeah,
think?
it's just he scores against England and Italy, and then he just can't score against anyone else. Just on Pinot, just to circle back for a quick sec, 'cause just while you were talking there, I had a quick look. So they played the Sharks. Bordeaux played the Sharks. The score was 66-12. That Sharks team wasn't a full B team. There was Bongi, there was Khaleesi, there was the Boogeyman, there was Oxenshea, um, Hendricks came on, Luca Ham came on 22 minutes in. Like the Springboks on that team, Peno ran in 6 tries. 6 tries. Mofano ran in 1. Luku ran in 1. Like, okay, yes, Louis Bliabu was not playing. I apologise to everyone for my pronunciation of his name. I just can never get it right. I'll just put that out there. Louis Bibi, like 6 tries, and then the game before he had a hat trick. So when I said 10 tries in 4 games, I actually should have said 9 tries in 2
But
against
that does
like a
mean he only scored
good
one in the
Shark
other
side.
2 games. So it swings and roundabouts.
I know exactly. I think that just shows like if he's gonna show up, he's gonna show up, and he's gonna fucking just go for it. Excuse my language, but he's just gonna go for it.
Okay,
So yeah.
fair
Anyway,
enough. No, I agree. I agree. If it's going to be someone, it's again most likely to be Peno. But I don't hate the shout with Sheehan. Like I think Sheehan's
yeah,
probably one of the best try scorers on average in the Six Nations, just with the Irish lineout and Mull. Mull actually, I don't think he's on any records as of
I
yet.
think there's a great one there of Brian O'Driscoll on off the ball, and they're talking about Dan Sheehan and scoring, and he was like, like I'm a little nervous already, and they looked it up, and it was only like 6 or something. Brian O'Driscoll was genuinely like, I think he's gonna catch me. Brian O'Driscoll sitting on 46 tries for Ireland, and he was
26
genuinely
in the
like
championship for Brandon Driscoll.
26, but 46 for Ireland, and they were talking about Dan Sheehan maybe overtaking him for Ireland. Like that's a compliment in itself and a testament of how it looks like he can score so much.
Yeah, well, sure. Last when he played last night against the Stormers, he scored 2, and he's just back from injury. Like
Yeah,
he's well in
phenomenal.
form. So yeah, definitely a chance for him. But I think we're all pretty much in agreement that if it's going to be anyone to do it, it'll be Peno. All right,
Yes.
last one, drop goals. I think they're coming very much back into fashion nowadays, and like it just seems to be players are much more willing to take a chance of taking a drop goal. So the record is 3 in a game, 5 in a season. I think the
5 in a
5 in a
season.
season is going to be broken. 3 in a game, maybe not, but 5 in a season.
I can't remember the stats for the World Cup, but look it up. It's very low for how many drop goals in a World Cup. I always think the drop goal is underutilized. I think you could see how clearly Kieran Frawley decides to take the penalty, misses the penalty. They kick the touch, no effort comes of it. It's a goal line dropout. He just slots it over. Like all of a sudden that puts us back within the 2 point game,
Yeah, and then
and
he
then
does
he
it
goes
again.
does it again. Like that was a 5 point deficit
Yeah,
reduced in a matter of minutes.
just through drop
Like
kicking the ball, yeah. Especially
you
as you
don't need
say.
the opportunity. It's the practice. It's the understanding it, and I think like coming into the break, or you've had loads of sustained pressure, or you've had loads of sustained pressure. You get up into the half, but you're not really making that forward. Why don't you just pop it a go? Like a drop goal that goes dead is the same result as a bad kick or an up and under. Like it's. I think it's nearly more of a worthwhile one because what like there's chances it can come off the post. We saw La Rochelle against Leinster 2 times. It came off the penalties came off the post. All of a sudden, La Rochelle were nearly on top of them, winning possession. So it's still putting the ball in that area that defense has to figure it out, and you might get 3 points out of it. And I
Could
think
bounce off the
teams are
posts either.
realizing. I think teams are realizing that there's a window there. George Ford against Argentina, like won that game with 3 drop goals. Just close the game out. Owen Farrell with them base to the ruck against South Africa. I think if there's a team that's going to do it, I think England might. Marcus Smith did it one against Ireland last year to win
Ireland,
it.
yeah, but I don't think he's a great drop kicker.
He's not, but I just think if there was a team to do it, I just feel like I don't. Finn Russell's not going to do it. I don't see him doing it.
Finn Russell, I think, has taken a few more. Again, I agree. I don't think it will be him, but I wouldn't completely rule him out. He's took a
It could be fucking
few. Yeah, it could be.
Antoine Dupont.
Yeah, no,
If
I doubt it. I doubt it'll be Dupont. It'll be Ramos if it's going to be someone from the French team. Um, and then from the Irish team, Prendergast is a good kicker. I haven't seen his drop goal. Obviously, we've barely seen that much of Prendergast in general, but he's a good kicker from hand, so maybe him. But again, doubt it. I think you're right. I think if it's going to be anyone, it'll be England. But they don't have George Ford, and I know he missed some in the autumn series, but I think if it's going to be or maybe Wales.
like Garbisi's not doing it. Garbisi's not doing it. Entamac's not doing it. Finn Russell's just not doing it. Like I think the problem is some tens just want to have a flashy play, score a try. The last resort is like, I'm not going to just go take a drop of goal. Like I'm not going to do something better than that. So I feel like, especially with Ireland with 2 tens trying to fight it in, if you take a drop goal and miss horrifically, like it's something that visibly looks bad. So I think certain players won't make that decision and they'll go for something else. And that's why I think England, with sometimes their play style with drop goals, they can make it work. So I wouldn't be surprised if they went for it, but that would be. I don't know who on England, but I'm going England because Henry Slade, he could be at 13. If he gets on the squad over Ollie Lawrence. I don't know if he will with the way Exeter Chiefs are playing, but if he gets on the squad, he could be starting taking a couple of drop goals. Like he's not bad at that. So
I reckon he'll be benched just because he's good cover across the whole back line.
yeah, I
And
agree.
I reckon Lawrence will start. Lawrence having a good season. But anyway, I
Yeah,
think that's all the records I was looking at. Is there any you want to add on, or will we call it there?
I think we'll call it there. That was a
Sweet. All right.
good
Thank you
roundup
very
on the
much.
records.
Yeah. Well, I think this year is a good year for them. I think this year there's definitely a chance of some of them being broken. But sweet. All right.
Just on the records before we go, France, Wales, Ireland are all on Six Nations. England are on 7. I think England are on 4 Grand Slams. I don't know if France. I think Wales and England are, double check that one. But we think France are gonna level it out with 7, don't we?
Yeah.
Level
I'd
that
be
record in
backing
terms of.
France. Well, then again, I suppose Ireland could level it either.
It's true.
Hmm.
That's true. Just one
Oof.
to think about for the next time.
Yeah. Geez, well, well, I suppose we didn't talk about the main possible record being broken. If Ireland do win the championship, first team to do it 3 times in a row.
Yes, that's very true. Very true.
So, have to wait and see on that one. But yeah, anyway. All right, brilliant. Thank you very much for watching. Let us know down in the comments if you can think of any other records that might be broken this Six Nations or just any records in general. And sweet, catch you in the next one. Peace.